Good evening, everyone. This is Sheena Allen, your Caribbean College planner and student advisor at the Student Center. And we are back again with another monthly webinar on a Wednesday. And this month, we're going to focus on cybersecurity. Now, we know that the cybersecurity is trending as popular, a growing field in demand. And what is cybersecurity? Now, I am not an IT expert. I don't know anything about cybersecurity, but we always connect you with those who know. So we have our qualified sources today to talk to us about the field of cybersecurity, why it is a good option for persons to consider. Now, you might be looking at what may be available at home or regionally or abroad, and we know that abroad studies is popular. So this evening, we're joined by a lot of special people in the room. I'm not sure if you're seeing all of us right now, but if you are, I'm going to go through our panel this evening. So off the bat, we have Camuson College. We're joined by Antonio. He represents the Camuson across the Caribbean region, and he's going to talk to us about cybersecurity from Camuson's perspective in terms of the type of programs that they have available to students who may be looking at studying in that field. And we're also joined by Sheridan College, based out in Ontario, in Toronto, and I had the pleasure of being there last year. Seems like yesterday. So good to see you, Anita. We're also joined by the Associate Dean, Amjad Mahid from Sheridan College. He is going to be talking to us about cybersecurity offerings, and we're also going to be joined by John Wang from Sheridan College as well. I always get excited when I see faculty, so if because it means I get more technical insight, more detail, and these are the people who are going to be in the classroom with you. So you get to connect with them up front. So I'm excited about that. And last and definitely not least, we have Conestoga College out in Kitchener in Ontario in Canada. And I'm joined by Natalia and Jim. Jim is also a faculty, so a lot of faculty in the room. And I also had the pleasure of visiting Conestoga and four of their campuses. That was a world then trip. I wouldn't advise doing four campuses in one day, but hey, it was great. And thank you guys for hosting me last year. And last, and definitely not least, we have our own in-house IT at the Student Center. And we're joined by Tony Lashley Allen. She is our Director of Operations and she's our IT expert. All the online platforms that you see couldn't happen without her. So we have our own eyes here that will be giving us some insight to on this field. So to start off, we're going to start with some presentations this evening. So everyone is going to present, and then we're going to go into the Q&A, and Tony's going to lead us on that Q&A. So I hope everyone is ready. If you are joining us via Zoom and you're in the room, thank you this evening. We appreciate your time and energy you're giving to us and being here. If you have any questions for our esteemed panelists, please feel free to use the Q&A option located on your Zoom panel or your chat option. If you are peeping in on our Facebook, good evening to you. And thank you for joining us. You can leave any comments or questions in the comment section. Now I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to hand over. Antonio, Camuson, located out in British Columbia, you are first up. You can share your screen for me.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hey, let me share the screen. Just please let me know if you can see the screen, okay? Let's see here. If I knew, I could have bring also my faculty from Camuson College. So
That's
she's actually
okay.
very, very good.
It's always the next
Oh,
time. Don't worry. We'll be back again. Don't
exactly.
worry.
Perfect. Let's see here. Camuson College. Now you can see
You
very
want to
well
do
the
it, put it in your
presentation.
presentation mode. We're not seeing it in the presentation. Right. Good stuff. You're good to go.
Okay, perfect. Camuson College. Okay, thank you so much. So we are located in the beautiful city of Victoria in the province of British Columbia. So just before I start, very quickly, where is Victoria? We are at the west of Canada, and we are at the south of an island. Our island is called Vancouver Island. Victoria is the capital of British Columbia. Okay, for me, it's very important to mention that because a lot of people think that the capital is Vancouver, but actually, we are the capital. Why Victoria is so popular, and we're getting a lot of applications from the Caribbean because of the weather. Okay, we have the warmest winter in Canada. In Victoria, it snow around 7 days per year, and the weather in the winter is between 5 and 10 degrees positive. For that reason, A lot of students from Latin America, for the Caribbean, are coming here to study at Campus College. And something that my Caribbean students have told me before is like in Victoria, they kind of feel at home because they still can feel like an island vibe. And also, Victoria is considered right now the top 4 best cities in Canada for young professionals. And for 2 years in a row, we were named the best small city in the world. So, you want to study in this amazing city, please come here. About IT, because we're talking about network cybersecurity, you have to know that IT is the number 1 sector of Victoria. Okay, only in the city of Victoria, we have close to 1,100 IT companies. You will have to think why you have so many companies in Victoria because of the geographical location. We are, remembered in the west of Canada, and we're very close to Seattle, Washington, and also from the Silicon Valley in California. So a lot of companies from those particular states open operations here in Victoria, and for that reason, we have a lot of job opportunities in the IT sector, of course, including the cybersecurity and network. This is a promotional post of Victoria. Victoria is also called Tectoria. Very quickly, we are the largest public college of British Columbia. We have 14,000 students, and of those students, 1,700 are international students. In the engineering and technology, offer 3 programs: information and computer system, interactive media developer, and the topic from today, cybersecurity and network technology. Let's learn a little bit more about our program in cybersecurity and network, which is a kind of new program. This is going to be our 3rd year with the program. In this program, you will gain the skills to maintain, configure, and protect computer and network systems. You will learn to design secure infrastructures and respond to security threats. You have to know that in Campus College, under these programs, you will have 2 options. We offer a certificate, a technician certificate of 8 months that will prepare you for entry-level roles for IT, but we also offer the diploma of 2 years that will prepare you for roles in security operations centers. Something that is important to mention in case that you are interested, our 2 programs apply for the PGWP. What skills you will learn during the cybersecurity and network? You will learn how to installation and maintenance of complex networks, a repair of personal computer servers, workstation and server security, about security events monitoring and response, a cloud-based server configuration, and technical sales support. In addition, after you complete the 2 years programs, you have the option, like when you finish the diploma, you can also finish with 2 different certifications. You can get the Cisco Certified Network Associate plus the CompTIA Security Plus. What the career opportunities? You have a lot of career opportunities. Remember that cybersecurity right now is a high demand job. Normally, your graduates will be working in the network management, in cloud computer, cybersecurity analysis, computer maintenance, or technical support. Just to let you know something very important, in the province of British Columbia, where we are located, these programs offers the opportunity to do a co-op. During the co-op in their provinces, by law, the co-ops must be paid. Okay? This is an example because I want to show an example. We are very huge in co-ops. We always organize one fair per year where we call other different companies from the city of Victoria. As I mentioned, we have a lot to come here to our campus to talk to the students and to talk about different co-op or job opportunities. And these amazing statistics that show up last year, that I love it, it says that Campus College, it has the largest college co-op program in British Columbia. What does that mean? It means that 50% of all college co-op placements in British Columbia are completed by Campus students. That means that we are really, really popular. We have a great reputation in British Columbia. A lot of my students have the opportunity to get that co-op. If you don't believe me, go to social media. We have an amazing hashtag called Camosun Stories that you can find more information about the life of a student in Camosun College. To be accepted from the Caribbean, okay? This is to finish my presentation. It's very important. We need CSEC results, okay? And you need to have a grade of 1, 2, or 3 in mathematics and in English. In mathematics, it's 1, 2, and 3. In English, you need to have 1, 2 to get direct entry to any program at the college. And to finish this big news, if you are planning to come to Campbellton College by September 2027, I know it's 2 years from now, but it still is a great opportunity. We will have a student residence that will get around 432 rooms. Yeah, it will be ready by September 2027. This is the end of my presentation because we have two more amazing institutions in Canada that will promote about their programs. I will stay here, but if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer at the end of the presentation. Thank you, and I think Natalia or Anaya is next.
Thank you so much, Antonio, for telling us about Son. So he laid out the academic programs and then also highlighted that there are professional certifications that come along with some of the academic programs. Basis of admission is based on your CSEC. Math and English are mandatory. Grades 1 and 2 in English A and grades 1 to 3 will be accepted for the math, but we will recommend that you have grade 1 and 2 in math though. So thank you so much. We're going to turn over to Sheridan and we have Ahmed and we have John who are going to take us through the presentation with what Sheridan has to offer. Over to you.
Thank you very much. John, would you like to go first for the 2 bachelor degrees and then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I was asked to represent my associate dean, and really ashamed to say that I don't have a presentation prepared, so I'm just going to ad-lib a little bit. My name is John Wang. I am a faculty member, which means I teach in the applied computing school. And I want to talk to you about 2 particular programs related to cybersecurity. One is actually very old and one is very new. We have a 4-year honor bachelor degree, and it has been established in Canada for almost probably more than 20 years. And it is very, very famous because it has generated a lot of graduates that are all over the Canadian cybersecurity industry. And this is a regular 4-year degree, and it has both a co-op component as well as a non-co-op path. This degree will require regular application involving math, and also you will have to qualify for that. I have to say I'm not very familiar with a specific application process, but I want to just say that if you have any questions, I'll be happy to find the answer for you. And we also have a fairly new diploma program. We created it, and the first group of students are going through the diploma program. This is set up so that students can come in and do 4 terms. Each term will be 4 months. So within 16 months, you'll be finished. And this particular diploma is focusing on the more entry-level security operations center, management of identity, more help desk related issues. And we deliberately created this diploma to be offered to students who might just want to do 2 years of study and then graduate. This diploma program, unlike the degree program, does not require math beyond grade 11 equivalent in Ontario high school. So those are the 2 programs I wanted to sort of describe, and I apologize for not having the proper material. And I hope that if you have questions, by all means, just send it and I'll find the answer for you. Thank you very much. Amjad?
Thank you, John. Okay, I think I can also speak a little bit about the cybersecurity and our program. Maybe what I'll do, I'll share some of the PowerPoint slides that I have, and then I'll talk a little bit more specifically about the operation technology cybersecurity. So let me see here. Okay, I think, can you see my slides?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So this is Faculty of Applied Science and Technology at Sheridan College, and basically the Faculty of Applied Science and Technology has five schools. The first school is called School of Applied Computing, where my colleague resides, John, and we have two schools, School of Architecture and School of Mechanical Electrical Engineering Technology. These schools are now called School of Applied Science and Engineering. We have as well as Chemical Environmental Sciences. And we have School of Magna Skilled Trades. Now, the program that we offer at the school, we offer undergraduate programs, Bachelor of Electrical Engineering, Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering, as well as diploma. But today our focus is on the Operation Technology Cybersecurity, the topic that we are going to talk a little bit more about. Now, I was also thinking to share some of our labs that we have here at the school, because the cybersecurity program will be very much focused on industrial infrastructure. So, and all our labs here at Sheridan College are equipped with industrial standards equipment. So you can see here we have the 3D additive manufacturing or 3D printers. We have robotics that are very much industry standards. And again, these are part of the infrastructure that requires cybersecurity protection, which we will talk a little bit more about it. We also teach FANUC robotics, which are the dominant industry standards here in North America when it comes to automotive manufacturing. In addition, we do also teach a lot on collaborative robots, from welding to control of pick and place conveyor belts, as well as other applications. Vision systems, we use Cognex vision system, which is the industry standards worldwide. This is a smart factory, so we use Festo, and in these type of factories, that's where the cybersecurity will be come into play. And we'll talk a little bit more about the cybersecurity certificate, which is a new certificate that we are excited to launch. We also offer Siemens Mechatronics, again, industry standards from Festo. And so these are just a quick introduction about the labs, but now I'd like to focus a little bit about the actual 2-year certificate, which is called Operation Technology Cybersecurity. Now, this is a brand new. Can you all please hear me well?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So this is a very new 2-year Ontario College graduate certificate that will have a very much focus on two pillars. The first pillar is what we call operation technology. And here we refer to the software and hardware that are used to monitor and control physical devices, processes, as well as infrastructure in almost all common industries, such as manufacturing, utilities, energy, transportations, and water treatment, and so forth. Now, historically, these systems, these infrastructure systems, used to be isolated. So each industry plant, they had their own internal network. So they were not very much connected to the worldwide web or the internet, or so that they were not very much vulnerable to cybersecurity. However, in recent years, all these systems are very much connected, and that's where the vulnerability to these industrial systems have become very critical. And in this certificate, the 2-year certificate, students will get to learn a lot of knowledge about the operation technology in terms of the industry, as well as how to analyze and mitigate the threats that can be posed to these industry through cybersecurities. Now, in this 2-year postgraduate program, students will be able to have multiple pathways. Some students can take a 1 year, which is very much focused on the core subject matter content on cybersecurity. Others can opt to take 3 semesters. So again, the subject matter focus content on cybersecurity plus an optional co-op. And some of the students may take the 2-year cybersecurity postgraduate. And in the first semester, they will be very much exposed to the Canadian content about the practical and industrial frameworks, as well as some introductory courses. That's in the first semester. Then the second and third will be a little bit more advanced courses. They will learn about the industry processes, the physical devices, the sensors and actuators, and how these different devices in industry connect with each other, and how you can design some protocols as well as systems in place to mitigate any cybersecurity threats. The fourth semester, the focus will be on enhanced work placement, which is very much focused on co-op, and there will be 360 hours they will need to complete. So at the end of completing this 2-year postgraduate certificate, students will be very much prepared to take on important roles in industry, and specifically within the cybersecurity space, and focus on industry in different, of course, sectors. As I mentioned, advanced manufacturing, utilities, water treatment, transportation, and energy. Thank you very much. We are open for any questions if you have about the 2-year postgraduate certificate, as well as our 2 other degree and diploma. And my colleague John here is also happy to take on any questions at the end. Thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely some questions with that. So thank you so much, Dean, and John, for your contributions. So I do have a couple of questions that we will reserve for the Q&A. So there you have it, folks. Sheridan does have programs available at the undergrad and postgraduate level, varying different qualifications, and we will get into some semantics a little bit later when it comes to Q&A. We're going to move on now to Conestoga, and we have Jim and Natalia that will be presenting to us today.
Thank you so much, Sheena, Tony. My name is Natalia. I'm from Mexico, but I have been living in Canada 12 years, and I'm the Associate Director for the whole Americas. And I'd like to introduce Jim Dixon, who is the Chair of Applied Computer Science and IT, because he's the expert in cybersecurity, not me. So, but if you happen to have any question related to admissions, we have scholarships available. We have any promotions for those of you who want to study in Conestoga in September. So let us know, and over to you, Jim.
Thanks, Natalia. Let me get my screen shared out here. And hopefully you can see my PowerPoint. Yes?
Yes,
Awesome.
we can.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about cybersecurity at Conestoga. This cybersecurity is primarily within the School of Applied Computer Science and Information Technology. So we'll also talk a little bit about that. Jim Dixon, as mentioned, chair within the school. The reason I'm here is because cybersecurity happens to fall under my purview. So among other things, but we'll go forward with that. So a little bit about our school. We have a number of different programs or program types that we have available. We have everything from 1-year certificates to 4-year degrees. So 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 4 years, whatever you'd like to study. From that perspective, many that have at least some component of cybersecurity included in them. I think it goes without saying, if nothing else, than having this session tonight, that cybersecurity is a huge area of interest for jobs these days, massive demand. And all of the colleges in Ontario and across Canada are working on putting together programming to help with that. I'm going to talk a little bit about diploma program first. We have something which is called Computer Systems Technician. This focuses on primarily IT infrastructure and IT systems. Although it is not specifically a cybersecurity program, anytime you're doing anything IT these days, there has to be cybersecurity built into it. It's not something you can say, we're just going to push that off to the side. So that's built into the program in almost every single course that you would be taking. Along with that, though, one of the reasons I like to highlight this is because it's been very popular over the last few years that students will do the 2-year diploma. And then when they're done, they'll do a 1-year graduate certificate on that and really kind of dial into a specific area of cybersecurity. And I'll tell you a little bit about those graduate certificates a little bit later. So that's something that's quite popular with us. Degree programs, we've got a few of these. One of them is our Bachelor of Computer Science program in the 4-year honors area. Like our other programs, there's a co-op component to it. This is delivered at our Waterloo campus. We have several of them. The campuses that we have that our students study at. Most of our IT is at Waterloo, and although we have several of them, they're not very far apart. They're all typically within about a 25-minute drive of each other. In this particular case, this is mostly software development focused. Degrees at any college in Ontario is going to be very much applied, meaning it's very hands-on and much lighter on the theory than you would find at a university, for example. Bachelor of Computer Science, very focused on programming and software development. Obviously, one of the specialties that students can take when they get to the end in the 4th year is cybersecurity. You can see a list of the different types of specialties that you get into. The way that you do that is when you get to the last year, there are what we call technical electives. So you basically get to pick and choose some of your courses that are part of the program. Others are mandatory, but anybody who wants to take the cybersecurity route will basically follow through those. We also have another 4-year degree, honors degree, which is Bachelor of Digital Technology Solutions. This particular program is focused on solutions architecture. There are 2 majors to the program. Students choose either between software development focus or an IT systems architecture focus. So when you get to the 3rd year, you start choosing, you're going to get courses, I should say, that are applied to your major. Again, this is not something that's specifically focused on cybersecurity, but again, cybersecurity is sprinkled through the entire program. Like you can't learn about cloud computing and networks and solutions development or software development without having a major cyber component of that. The last one I'll talk about in degrees. This is something, this is actually offered through our School of Engineering and Technology. So this is a little bit different than what you typically see in cybersecurity. So this is a cyber systems type of a degree. It's actually an engineering degree with a cybersecurity focus on it. So it's kind of a communications engineering, software engineering, computer engineering. It's certified by the Canadian Engineering and Accreditation Board, which means that you can be a professional engineer when you're finished with that. So that's it for our degrees. I'll also mention a little bit about our graduate certificates I mentioned before. These are all 1 year in length. And we have a variety of these. One is information technology network infrastructure. This focuses on the systems side of thing, the IT systems side of cybersecurity. So securing networks, securing operating systems, securing cloud computing environments, that type of a thing. Along with that, we have a graduate certificate, which is cybersecurity response planning. If you've heard of something called incident response, it's a very, very major area of job demand in the cybersecurity field. This one also has an optional co-op attached to it. And in this area, you would be learning about responding to any kind of cybersecurity breaches and how do you prevent cybersecurity breaches from happening again if you happen to get hit with one of those. Okay. We also have a new program, digital forensics. Again, this is a 1 year graduate certificate. Again, this is a very major demand right now in the cybersecurity area. In this particular case, you're looking at forensics analysis of devices, systems, that type of a thing, if there happens to be a breach. If you ever watch any of those TV shows that have some sort of forensics component to it, that's basically what this is about, except we don't worry about forensics on bodies. We worry about forensics on things like cell phones and computers and network devices and all of those kinds of things. And then the final one is computer application security. So we have the one which is IT network security. This one kind of works very much hand in hand with that, where you're securing the applications on the infrastructure. So this is where we look at things like, how do we make sure that our web application is secure? How do we make sure that we have, property identity and access? How do we make sure our data is secure? That kind of a thing. So when I was mentioning before about the diploma program and then doing 1 year after that to really focus in, a lot of our students kind of take take that diploma, not the certificate, take the diploma, and then say, hey, I'm really, really interested in something to do with securing applications, or I'm really interested in incident response. They'll do that 1 more year and then really focus in tightly on that. Okay. One more thing I want to kind of talk about a little bit, our facilities. What you're seeing right now, kind of in the background, is a photo of one of our networking labs. We have 5 of those in between our campuses. Essentially, this is all industry standard equipment. We work with Cisco, Palo Alto Networks, Juniper Networks, Fortinet, and I'm missing one that I can't remember off the top of my head. So we're very much focused on students having hands-on experience with this type of equipment. It's laid out that every single student, when you're in class, you have access to the same equipment as every other student. You have your own kit to work on, along with larger projects where the students work together. And the last thing I'd like to mention is something that's upcoming. There are actually 2 things that are upcoming. One is our cybersecurity lab. We have a renovation going on right now at our Waterloo campus. We're expanding our school of computer science and IT. One of those things that's happening is a dedicated cybersecurity lab, which is going to be completely, the term we use is air-gapped. It's going to be isolated from Conestoga's network, our corporate network, and we're going to be doing all kinds of really nasty things in there when it comes to cybersecurity. So we're really excited that we're putting that together. And the other thing that we have upcoming, and unfortunately, I can't give you details at this point in time, because anytime a college in Ontario is waiting for an approval to offer a program, we're kind of on a blackout and we're not allowed to talk about them. But I will say that we do have more both diploma and degree programs in the works that are specifically cyber focused. So that's basically it for me. I understand we're going to be holding questions until a little bit later, so I'll drop off at this point in time.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much, Jim and Natalia. So there you have it, folks. Conestoga, they have bachelor degree programs, postgraduate level programs. So different levels based on wherever you're at in your education. Now, before we fully get into the Q&A, we're going to have our own Tony. She's our IT expert here, and she's going to give us some insight, and then she's going to proceed with the Q&A. So over to you.
Thanks, Sheena. Certainly some very relevant information and relevant programs have been discussed here today, because as the Caribbean continues to expand its digital infrastructure and embrace technological innovation, cybersecurity has become a very critical concern for businesses, for governments, and even for individuals. The region usually faces a unique challenge that is from safeguarding financial institutions and the tourism network to protecting the critical infrastructure against cybersecurity threats. Now, we've had across the region a number of attacks, data breaches, a number of incidents where bad actors got information, and information will be or may be on the dark web. So cybersecurity is a very critical course at this point in time, a very relevant offering that the schools have. And as we continue to rely more on digital solutions, there are a lot of opportunities in businesses for cybersecurity experts. As we head into our question and answer section, I'll lead it off by asking, I don't know if anyone can jump in. Do students have the opportunity to specialize in areas like ethical hacking or cloud security or even digital forensics? I heard a bit of it from Conestoga about digital forensics, but these are some key areas that we see popping up. And we'd like to know if the students have the opportunity to focus on those areas.
So what would be the question? Sorry.
The question is, do students have the opportunities to specialize in areas like ethical hacking, cloud security, or digital forensics during the programs?
I'll take a stab at it. Our four-year degree does have the ethical hacking components built in, so you will be going through all the courses. And our four-semester, two-year diploma on cybersecurity will also be teaching you on both defense and offense. And I feel really like an idiot because I forgot to mention we actually also have a graduate certificate on cloud security. It was offered starting a year ago, and I wasn't directly involved in it. So when I was asked to talk about cybersecurity, it completely slipped my mind. It's actually is actually the only graduate certificate offered by Ontario colleges right now. It's focused entirely on cloud security as of a year ago. So that is a specifically created just to merge the cloud computing capability, teaching you how to do cloud computing, but also concentrating on defense of the cloud. So it's a very, very unique graduate certificate. And I apologize for not even mentioning embarrassment of riches. So I just want to mention that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Jim. Thank you so much, John.
Thanks. Yeah. I'll also mention similar to Sheridan, we have well, we know about the digital forensics part, but we do have courses on ethical hacking and such built into many of our different programs. So, for example, that computer application security program I was mentioning, ethical hacking is built into that. Our degree, ethical hacking is built into that. Diploma, ethical hacking is built into it. So we don't necessarily have an entire program focused on ethical hacking, but it is absolutely something that the students learn.
Thank you, Jim. And I'm here.
Yeah, thank you. So similarly, when it comes to the two-year postgraduate certificate, we do touch base on these three main areas, but we don't have specifically a specialization. So it's in a 2 year, students will get to understand the actual industry infrastructure in general and the processes and how you can mitigate any cybersecurity threat and how you respond to it. And within that context, students will get to understand the concepts of forensics and the ethical hackings and everything. But the idea here is that they will have a strong foundation so that after they graduate, they can build on the area in which they are very much interested to, be focusing on for their career perspective. So yeah, so these are topics, but there isn't a specific one specialization to each of them.
Tony, have any more questions?
Yes, thank you all for your answers. I know that you will have the opportunity, once you have a good foundation, it can be applied to any industry, but do you offer any interdisciplinary opportunities for students? So are there any programs or any parts of your courses which combine cybersecurity with, let's say, business or law or AI, maybe cybersecurity in healthcare? Yeah, do your programs offer those interdisciplinary opportunities?
Yeah, Jim.
Go ahead, Jim.
I think I must have beat Amjad to the buzzer by a minute there. Anyway, yeah. Again, I think similar to what we were saying a little bit earlier, is that because of the applied nature of our programming, there's very much a practical aspect to that with respect to business. So, as an example, in our cybersecurity response planning program, there are courses dealing with securing large enterprises, securing smaller businesses, and very much focused on that business aspect of it. Same in our degrees. There's another program, and I have to admit, I don't know the details about it because it comes from our School of Health Sciences, but we do have I think it's a Bachelor of Health Informatics. Natalia, you might even be able to tell me better if that's the name of the program at this point in time, because I know they changed it. But again, there's very much a cybersecurity component to that program. Not specifically a cybersecurity and health, but here's health or health informatics, and cybersecurity is very, very much a part of that. So again, we build it into anything that we do now that there's a data or an IT component to it.
If I may add, I don't know a specific name, but just as you mentioned, when I was touching base with Jim about cyber, I said, can you speak about the Bachelor of Cyber System Engineering, even though it's not part of IT, but it's how we are merging. And I know we have a huge component, and I don't know if this is cybersecurity or not, Jim, sorry, but in virtual reality production, right? I know we produce our own virtual reality, and we use it for firefighters programs, we use it for health, we use it for all the schools. So I think that complements.
Amjad?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so definitely the interdisciplinary aspect is now key to any program that we offer here at Sheridan, whether the applied computing school or even in the engineering school, because at the end of the day, students will need to really graduate with and prepared with skill sets that really give them the opportunity to get started in their job from day one. So when it comes to interdisciplinary, for example, I think you mentioned the AI and the business piece of it. Most of the courses that we offer tend to be very much hands-on focused and with group work involved. And when it comes to group work, students are expected to develop some reports and presentations, and these reports, and of course, timelines. So there's some, project management aspect to it. There are going to be, even in John's areas, in the bachelor's, there's a capstone project where students will need to apply all what they've learned throughout their journey into one final big project for their graduation. And that, capstone project, they will need to apply project management from the business side of it, in selecting components, in the budget, in all these different aspects. At the same time, they need to come up with some project where they will have to introduce whatever courses they learn. So in John's case, in our case, they do study a lot of courses in AI, artificial intelligence, and courses in industrial Internet of Things. We call it I² OT. And all these different courses come together along with the cybersecurity to be applied for their final capstone project. So students tend to take real pride in these capstone project or mini projects. The degrees that we have here at Sheridan in engineering have been very much developed based on what we call CDIO approach, conceive, design, implement, operate. And in that approach, students will tend to develop some small mini projects from year one and build on this. So the complexity of the project tends to be a little bit more advanced as they go to year 2 and year 3. And the idea is not only to prepare them from the technical side of it, but from the softer skill side of it. So when they get to the final capstone project, they tend to take on industry-driven capstone project, not the traditional university capstone project. And that's where most of the students get hired. In my humble experience, in the past 8 years, we offer what we call capstone project showcases. And we invite all community and industry partners. Students get hired during their showcases because of the scope of the project they developed, because of the soft skills they developed and the technical skills. And that applies the same for applied computing as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do I have room for one more question or?
Yes, yep. One more question.
Thank you. As we know, cybersecurity is a very fast-moving program. Things change in the IT world as a whole very quickly. How do your programs adapt to emerging threats and technologies in cybersecurity? That might be
Tim,
a
you look
little
ready to answer. I know that's a heavily loaded question,
a
but
very loaded question, yes.
so um I'll let Jim start off and then I'll have you follow after him. So go ahead.
I promise that's my last one.
Yeah, okay, maybe I'll just quick feedback and answer to this question. In any field, and especially in this cybersecurity, this is a very hot, trending field, and there are lots of changes on a I wouldn't say daily basis, but every now and then. I think what we offer is basically the foundation for the students to be able to have a good understanding, solid understanding of the cybersecurity concepts and the protocols and how they can easily be able to pick up any new, topics that are going to be associated with it. So it's the students' part as well that play a key role in making sure that they have to be really up to date. We provide the, industrial standards, foundation, and of course the students will have to build on their basic knowledge and foundation to pick up any new topics that are arising in the future. Thank you.
So I'll echo what Amjad was saying as well. I mean, he's right. It's up to the students to make sure that they really focus. Some of the things as well, though, most of our programs have an emerging tech course built into them. Those courses, while really interesting, are difficult from an administration perspective because they change every semester to some extent. Some of them more than others, obviously. The ones that are cybersecurity related are, from my perspective, having to administer the programs the worst when it comes to that because it's constantly, extending development with that. Typically, a number of our programs also have like a case studies course, and again, those rotate almost every semester. There's an update to it, and every year it's almost a complete redevelopment. Not so much from the structure, but from the content perspective. The other thing that I'll mention as well that we're really proud of at Conestoga is we have really good relationships with our industry partners. We have a lot of contract faculty as opposed to people who work full time for us in specialty areas. Like as one example, the head of forensics for Waterloo Regional Police is one of our forensics profs, kind of a thing. And I could go on forever about the relationships we have there, but having those industry experts come in and be able to talk about, oh, this happened today, or this happened this week, or whatever it is one of those things that with the although there is obviously structure to our courses and things like that, we make sure that we build in enough flexibility that if there was some major cyber breach, yesterday we could talk about that today in class, and why is it important and what happened, and why do we have to wait 6 months to find out what happened, or we never find out what happened. So but yeah, it's I totally understand why you ask. It's a major challenge, no question.
John?
Yeah, I'm going to echo all the things that was said. At the same time, I like to use analogy when I do talk to students about the changing nature. Um, you can see it in two ways. Like if you look at the ocean, there are lots of different waves, different types of weather. Sometimes the waves are huge and sometimes calm. But if you understand the foundations of cybersecurity, it's almost like you're going down about 50 meters. It's very calm. And if you just do the right things, whatever is going on the top, you'll probably be okay. We have seen new angles. We have seen different ways that social engineering, for example, is implementing. They're using AI to fake the angle, to fake the way that stories are told for social engineering. We're looking at different tools that will quicken and also automate. But again, if you go down 50 meters, things haven't changed that much. So, and the other thing I want to say, which is not really related to the question, is you have to understand why we have so many cybersecurity issues. Because we use internet protocols a lot, the way that TCP/IP was designed, it was meant to be used by mainframes, like a host. And now everything is a mainframe. Like we have billions of devices that are like mainframes, but we don't treat them properly. We leave them unpatched. We are letting the software go unchecked for years. And because they are our refrigerators, these are garbage cans, whatever you have, all these devices, and yet we don't realize they are just like mainframes, just like any host. And if you're able to, really own them, then you can launch attacks from that. So a lot of that is just noise. And if we do our proper caretaking, then things will be okay. Like don't be fooled by all the changes and all the new names. Things haven't changed that much.
Thank you so much, John. And Nathan?
Yes, I want to thank John and Amjad for all the knowledge you mentioned about our programs. I just wanted to add about our, quickly, if anybody had any questions with regards to admission requirements, how to apply, fees, just kind of as a quick, just wanted to let you know for our bachelor degree in cybersecurity, we are looking at a minimum of 6 CSEC subjects. You need English, you need math, and then you need any type of science or computer science, and then any 3 other CSEC subjects, grades 1 to minimum 3. And for our 2-year program, the computer systems technician cybersecurity, you need 5 CSEC subjects, English, and any 4 other CSEC subjects, grades 1 to 3. And then the other 2 programs that we have are the postgrad. So we're looking for your undergrad, at least for our, excuse me, for our cloud security postgrad program, you just need your undergraduate diploma or degree in IT field in computer science or equivalent. And Amjad, I'm not sure about the new program coming, if that's the same requirement is an undergrad in the IT field. But yes, I just wanted to mention that if there's any further questions, I can answer those questions. Thank you.
I just want to pop in here because I do have a couple questions. I think it was Sheridan that had mentioned there is, and correct me if I'm wrong, or Kamasan, but for persons who may be looking at changing careers because we are now moving more into digital type jobs and some jobs are shrinking in some industries because it's being automated. So I'll use myself. I don't talk about other people, I talk about myself. So I have no IT background, but say for example, I just get up and say, I want to be an IT professional. And I am coming, I have a bachelor's and I have a grad degree, but no IT in there. What would you recommend? What do you have available for someone? And there are many people, they may not even have a bachelor's or what would you recommend?
I will just say that we have had this examples many times, these cases many times. I understand that it's difficult because they seem like me, right? Like I'm a lawyer, but sometimes I see that IT is the future. So unfortunately, if they want to take a graduate certificate, as Sheridan, they have to have a background in IT. But we have foundation programs that they are 8 months and they can start there and then from there follow to our diploma. I think that is the best pathway just to try it because I don't want to encourage anyone to just register in a bachelor if they don't know what they are doing, right? So I will say the foundation program will be the best option. And just to add, same what Sheridan mentioned right now in admissions process, we also take we need for our bachelor 6 courses of CAPE and we also accept CSEC yeah, I forgot the other one, but anyway, but to mention that we also have agreements and we recognize your learning experience in your country and we can take in consideration that, but also when you graduate we also have only many university agreements with USA, Australia, UK, and inside Canada. You can study in the East Coast and then finish either with a master or another graduate certificate or another specialization with the West Coast.
Okay. So there are pathways. But I know someone mentioned a program that didn't need math. I also heard that.
Yes. So
So
for Sheridan, we have the Computer Systems Technician Cybersecurity program. That is a great program where you do not have to have any IT background. You just need to have your 5 CSEC, English, and any other 4 CSEC subjects. So that is a great beginner program.
Yeah,
Okay,
and we
that-
don't, and thank you so much. And we don't assume that you have IT background at all. It is meant to help someone to get to a point where they can have the entry level position for anything to do with incidents reporting, first tier, and you may deal with password changes. So it's very much like help desks, and you will have all the support and training to get there. So that's where we come from. Thanks.
that one looks very appealing. So I'll make a note of that one. My other question is now, this might be the last question. So,
Bruno has his hand raised, sorry, to answer the one you asked before.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
But I've seen that on the screen. Okay.
Sorry. Who else wanted to
Also,
say? Antonio, go ahead.
also
Sorry.
yes, I want to say something. No, just to clarify that actually your Amazon 3 IT programs are also like for just recent high school graduates or from people who is actually very interested in the IT sector, but they don't have the skills and they don't have the experience. And again, very similar to Natalia. If you are not 100% sure that this is the path that you want to go, you can study for us at least the first year. Again, we offer the certificate of 1 year, and if you really enjoy that, you can go and start your second year diploma. Thank you.
Oh, that's interesting. So you can start with a certificate and move in to the second year
Yeah.
of the diploma program. Well, that's strategic. So you get two credentials technically when you come out of it, your
Yes.
certificate and your diploma.
Mhm.
Not too bad. Yes, Natalia?
No, sorry, maybe Jim is going to comment on that because I was asking if all of our
Oh, sorry.
programs.
Jim?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Natalia was asking me about the math question. Yeah, our degrees require math. We all do. But other than degrees, math is not something you have to get started. The one thing I did want to mention, kind of echoing what Antonio was talking about as well, and this kind of comes back to what Natalia was talking about, the foundations. So you start off with a certificate, and then you can go into a degree, or sorry, into a diploma. And if you're going, oh, this is great, I want to go further, then you transition into the degree kind of thing. And pathways in Ontario right now, what we're finding, talking to potential students coming in from high school and their parents, pathways is just massive these days. Everybody wants to be in a position where I don't want to commit necessarily to a degree right away. The perception is it's a big commitment, and if you're going to go through with it, it is obviously. But rather than saying I want to start with 4 years right now, could I dip my toe in the water for a year and say, yeah, you can do that. And it's like, oh, so this is great. Can I carry on? Absolutely, you can carry on. We have those pathways. I can't imagine that any college in Ontario doesn't have pathways all over the place at this point in time. So yeah, a big part of what we're doing.
And that would be strategic for our international students, especially when it comes to time and cost. So you can look to possibly start in a 2 year, if that is the level of investment that you have, because for international students, you're paying international fees. So it is a strategic way. And I know in the Caribbean, we're degree centered, but sometimes having been exposed to different markets, different ways of doing things, it would be good to look at the other options to gaining a credential. And it seems as though hands-on is best. So any kind of applied based type qualification will seem to get you started in the field. The last question I have, all of you have touted co-ops and paid work experience. So I would like to find out where, like which industries or if there's specific employers that your students have managed to gain a co-op experiences, if you can mention a couple of them, please. And that will be our final question.
So if I may start the question. So Conestoga is the largest, I don't know how to say this like we have more than 80 co-op opportunities or programs. But I just heard that for example, our virtual reality faculty program employed 100 students last year. So I can say that the job opportunities are inside campus and outside campus. I think maybe Jim knows better, like where our students tend to work and develop these co-op programs. Jim, if you want to also share your expertise on this, will be great.
Yeah. The question is, where do our students not go for co-op? I think is.
Yeah, like some of the industries are different companies. Yeah.
Yeah. Just as a note, Waterloo region is often called Silicon Valley North. Like we have a lot of tech in the area, but names that you would recognize, Google, for one, Microsoft, Tesla. Maybe Tesla's not a good thing to mention at this point in time, but they do go there. Also, cyber firms like eCentire, as an example, Arctic Wolf. They're a couple of huge service providers, helping organizations secure their endpoints and such. Insurance companies are really big in our area. We have quite a few of them. They take our students, and also manufacturing, transportation. So there's a company called ATS, Automated Tooling Systems, which is fairly large worldwide, making exactly that. So, automation systems for assembly. Our students go there. Transportation. We're a very large hub for truck transportation. We have students that are going there. So it's kind of, almost all over the place. BlackBerry, you would recognize, I'm sure. Open text is something else you might recognize. So, a lot of large, and then also a lot of small companies. We have students that go into startups. That's actually very popular, because there's a large incubator that's associated with the University of Waterloo, which is literally like 2 kilometers down the road from us. A lot of our students go to support the startups that they have spinning off the incubators to help them get their infrastructure up and running, and help them with software development. I could go on forever, but I'll stop now.
Thank you, Jim. And that's good to know. So it seems like a wide range of companies and industries. So that's very good to know. I see Antonio, I see your hand raised.
Yes, can you hear me? Sorry, I think that my internet kind of
Yeah.
get lost for a second.
Yeah, no, you're
Perfect.
good.
Okay. Yeah, just as I explained Perfect. As I explained my presentation, like at least Camuson College in British Columbia, we are like leaders in co-op. Like the 50% of all the college co-op placements are from Camuson students. Again, Victoria is the IT sector is the #1 sector in Victoria. That's why even Victoria is also called Techtoria, because we have again close to 1,100 startups company. And the majority of my students, when they do co-op, they do in those small companies. The largest, biggest company that came to my mind right now, it was Amazon. Amazon purchased a very small company in Victoria, and we have a lot of students working for Amazon through that particular company. And something that I would just give you an advice to everybody, because when I talk to my students in IT and engineering, they say that how they find co-ops or internships is actually go straight and talk to those small companies. Normally those companies, they don't advertise, on LinkedIn or on their websites about co-ops. My students, they find the company that they would like to work for, and they actually go and talk directly to them and ask them if they do a co-op. So that's just an advice I can give to prospective students when they are trying to look for a specific co-op. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. Ahmed, your turn.
Yeah, thank you. So one of the things that distinguish Sheridan College is their strategic location within the Ontario Manufacturing Hub. So where I'm sitting now, I have all Mississauga and Brampton SMEs, small mid-sized companies, and our strong partnership has been for decades with many companies like Hatch, for example, Fanuc Robotics, ABB Robotics, Siemens Mechatronics, Turk, Microsoft, all these different companies that we tend to have partnership where co-op is very much focused on. Again, we have all these automotive manufacturing companies like Toyota, Honda, and Stellantis. These are also some of the companies that many of our students tend to get their co-open. And there are many, many other small companies here in this area where we have some partnership. The other company that we have a strong partnership is MDA. So this is a space manufacturing company, and it's Canada #1. That has a strong relationship with Sheridan here, with the engineering school as well as the applied computing school. So we have plenty of co-op opportunities for the students in all these different disciplines. John, I don't know if you would like to add some of the companies that you may have or I may have missed.
No, not specifically, but as I said, our cybersecurity degree program, the Honor Bachelor, in its existence has seeded so many companies, and they have also come back and hire our co-op students. So I just want to leave it at that. In fact, I think that some of our students, we have problem graduating them just because they took the job and went on without finishing. But I'm just kidding. Thanks.
We're going to put a disclaimer for those who are going to be on the study permit. You will finish that program. Just putting that out there. But thank you everyone for your contributions today. I want to say a special thanks to the faculty that joined us, Jim, John, and Ahmed. I just really appreciate your input. And it's always good you enhance the value of the information that we're putting out there. I also like to give a special thanks to Tony for joining us on a webinar. She works behind the scenes primarily, and when you see her at Cup Fest, but it's really good with her ATIs to come and join us this evening. Natalia, Anita, and Antonio. Thank you so much for participating in this webinar. And thanks to those who peeked in on Facebook, those who were in the Zoom. This has been Study Cybersecurity. It is a big field, it's growing, it's not going anywhere. We live in a digital world where we're always on a phone, whether you're talking through your watch, whether you're doing online banking, there's going to be a need for this everywhere. So continue to check these schools out on the CutFest School Directory, www.cutfestinternational.com. Look for more webinars will be coming your way. Each month, we're going to bring another one to you. And also, if you want to apply to any of the schools listed on the Student Center's CutFest School Directory, we do have our apply section. You can apply to up to 3 schools. No service charge. You're just responsible for the application fees. If there are application fee waivers, they will be applied to your application. So definitely check out www.cutfestinternational.com. For those of you who may have been from Antigua and you're joining us, please know I'm in Antigua this Saturday. Come out to our little information session at the Antigua and Barbuda Workers Union out there in St. John's. You can talk a bit more, and we'll be back again. As I said, check out www.cutfestinternational.com. Good evening, everyone. Take care.